Hello and welcome to the DynamiXX Simracersworld GT Series live on Apex Racing TV. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me this evening for this final round of the championship is Marco Barbanet. And we are here at the fantastic Brands Hatch circuit. Marco, a circuit that we visit every season in this championship. And, well, in one way, this is a bit of a sad occasion. It's the end of Season 4 of this championship. But at the same time, we can look forward to Season 5, which will be coming in just a little bit of time. And also looking forward to this extra long race, 75 minutes, an extra quarter of an hour longer than normal. Should be lots of fun out there to cap off what has been a superb season of racing.
Yes, absolutely. Hello everyone, hello Sam. Like you said, bittersweet feelings tonight because it's the final round of the season and it's the traditional 75-minute extravaganza, but this time we're not in Spa, like you said, we are in one of the other two staple tracks that are always in the calendar, Brands Hatch, and of course this is certainly, together with Zolder, one of the 3 classic tracks of the championship. And yes, of course, final round of the season. All the titles, the individual titles, are wrapped up, but we have the team championships in the 3 categories. They are still, yet to be wrapped up. There is an 18-point gap between Racecraft Gold and Meraki AMG in the Gold championship standings. In the Silver class, we have DynamiXX Pro with 41 points over Simracersworld Pro-Am. And in the Bronze class, the bigger gap, DynamiXX Bronze is 58 points in the lead of Team GB Esports, the team of the champion of that particular class, David Fuller. But, anything can happen and probably will in these very long races, especially because it is not a track where you can, usually it's a track that is home to, shorter races like sprint races. Even though we are in the Grand Prix layout, passing will be very, very tough around here. Strategy will play, I think, Sam, a key part. And that first lap, we saw it last season. A lot can go wrong, even in a series like this where the drivers are very respectful to each other. It's so narrow, especially in the first couple of corners. Anything can happen, and like I said, it probably will.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking forward to what could potentially be an exciting season finale, particularly that gold championship in the teams championship. We haven't paid too much attention to the teams championship. That'll be something that we work on next season, mainly focused on the individual judges, but the team championship, as you were saying, Marco, close in every single category: the gold, the silver, and the bronze. And in the gold, in particular, Meraki Racing AMG have been hounding Racecraft Esports Gold down for a few rounds. They've actually outscored them in the past 5 rounds, and if they carry on catching as they have been, they should overtake today. But I'm sure Racecraft Esports, Martin Van Liesnod, Marvin Amont, and Kevin van der Slick in that team, they will certainly try to put a halt to that and claim that championship, which, well, both teams certainly deserve it, but they'd be delighted if they could seal that one after, of course, winning the championship with Martin Van Liesnod already. Practice, just happening at the moment. 4 more minutes of practice, and then we'll have 10 minutes of qualifying, and then a 1 hour 15 race. Just looking at the fuel limit today, Marco, pretty much no difference to the other races this season. Still 70% fuel, maximum fuel. These cars around this circuit can go quite far, usually about 70 minutes. I would have thought maybe 65, 70 minutes. I'm not sure how long that is with 70% fuel, but surely something like 45 minutes. So it's going to be pretty close for these drivers to get to the end of the race on one stop, which means that there's not going to be a huge pit window today.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Sorry, but I have to indulge a bit on Luke Tice's beautiful McLaren, sadly relegated. Uh, Far too often in the back end of the field. But Luke has had lots of bad luck in the season, especially being involved in a lot of mayhem. And nice for him to be back for the final few rounds and proudly displaying his beautiful LMD racing livery and the flamethrower, of course. Always, always great, in my opinion, to look at, especially at night. We are running in the day, of course. So, yeah, longer race, of course, it's only 50 minutes more, but especially, I would say that in a track like this, it is much more tougher than doing 15 extra minutes at Spa, for example, because this is one of those tracks, just like Lime Rock Park, for example, but there are others that you never have a moment to rest, basically. You are always on the limit, always on the edge. The track doesn't give you a lot of moments to, catch a breath. You are always looking forward to the next corner, and, once again, a track that punishes your mistakes. All the runoff areas are made by glorious grass and gravel, so you don't have the luxury, of, say, miss a corner, okay, there's a tarmac runoff area, I'm back on the track in a second. No, you have to be careful because this grass is very slippery, and the barriers are very close, on the outside of the track, especially in this part, the final part of the lap.
Yeah, it's one of those circuits where there's a lot of circuits where you're just pushing as hard as you possibly can, and you don't really care about the consequence of perhaps crashing. You're kind of just going as fast as you possibly can because you don't want to slide too much, you don't want to use too much space, you don't want to pick up 1Xs. But around this place, you have got to limit yourself, yeah, out of fear of potentially making contact with the wall. It is such a narrow place, this, and well, you can see there's barely any runoff area, barely any curbs as well. So you pretty much got to keep your all four wheels within the white lines at all times around this track. Also going to be tough to overtake, and so coming up is one of the most important qualifying sessions of the year. And also, the incident limit is still at 25. So we haven't really talked about the incident limit for the majority of the season, Marco. We saw it a little bit earlier. I think at Spa and Monza it played a part. But pretty much since then, the drivers have coped very well with it. I wonder if today, maybe a few drivers will be pushing that incident limit a little bit further. And of course, dipping a wheel onto the grass around this place will pick you up a 1X every single time.
Yeah, lost in the chaos of the fantastic finale, and I saw your edit on the Facebook page of Apex Racing TV. Of the final couple of laps were amazing. Last week in Monza, and lost in the shuffle. My terrible commentator scores on Driz Mushti, who was leading, of course. And I watched it back. The final few laps with a friend, and I noticed that I said that Driz looked set for a easy win. Is not easy, a sure win in the final couple of laps in the bronze class. And then, of course, he ran out of fuel. But what a fantastic ending that was. As you can see right now, immediately the Meraki boys are out in full force, leading the way as qualifying starts.
Yep, that's the way you want to be. I don't know how they've got... Do you know how the pits are ordered in these races, Marco? Is it just first come, first served?
Okay, so basically in practice, and I would guess for qualifying as well, it is first come, first served, I think. Sure in qualifying. Sure in practice, and I'm pretty sure in qualifying as well. And then, of course, it gets ordered by qualifying time in reverse. So the quickest guy has the last pit stall. The first one, the one closer to the exit, and the slower cars have the, pit stalls closer to the entrance. So that's the way it works. Of course, Branzacce is one of those tracks where you have to share the pit stalls, I think, because that is not a very big pit lane, and we have a decent, 35 cars in the field today. So yeah, these cars have to share the pit stall, which is, not a problem. It's just, that you have to be careful because you might see a car drop into your same pit stall, but that is perfectly okay. It's not like in Ulton Park where I think you have very, very few grid spots. Here you have a lot of grid spots, but not a lot of pit stalls.
Yes, always something that you had to factor in here at Branzacce. I believe you can have maybe 52 cars around this place. This place even held World Championship events, of course, in the Blancpain GT Series, as it used to be. Not anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, very serious track, especially for these cars, despite that maybe pit stall issue. Yeah, so the drivers currently setting their provisional lap times. So far, no one with a lap time set apart from the outlaps, because again, it's a bit of a weird pit lane here. You actually come out of the pits, and as you come out of the pits, you actually start a lap time because the pit line is so far down. But these first representative lap times currently being set by the drivers, and also, of course, that traffic as well could be a bit of an issue. Drivers backing up near the end of the lap, and you can see super slow on the inside there. I think that may have been Theisberg, or I think that was Dries Mujdi.
Yeah, it was
Mujdi,
Dries
actually,
yeah.
on the inside.
But you
I
make
kind
a
of got
good
used
point.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so especially around this part, it's like ever so narrow. You can see Andrew Hopley with a relatively clean run through for Meraki Racing. It's currently Ruben Van Buell on the pole position with a 21.6 identical lap time with Ewan Marshall. Lewis Ward is only 1/100th slower. What can Andrew Hopley do? The gold driver currently in 20th position. He crosses the line. And, well, it wasn't a valid lap time after all. So he picked up a 1x somewhere, and he'll have to go again.
Yeah, I think he picked up a 1x just as he was getting by Dries Mujdi there in the middle portion of the racetrack. Very easy to get an off track around here, especially when you're pushing very, very hard. And, we will try to follow the action as best as we can, but keep an eye on the left side of your screen at the scoring tower, because it's going to go absolutely crazy as the Tige, 21.1, pole position for him with 6 minutes still left in the session.
Strong lap time for the Tige has been one of the informed drivers at the end of this season. Certainly the BMW drivers have really come on strong, particularly yeah, him and Ruben Van Buell. And this place certainly a BMW circuit, lots of corners, not too many straights. And they'll certainly be fancying their chances out there today. Walking in Roots, Steve. 2-point scoring finishes so far this season, a 9th and a 10th in his class. Hopefully he'll be able to get some more points. So too, we'll be hoping Martin van Loosenord, championship winner, overall championship winner, gold class championship winner as well. And he's looking for yet another race victory. I believe it would be his 9th of the season in what has been a quite sublime championship put together by him. But so far, not a representative lap time. Jochen Lennart's now crossing line, the solo driver, but he moves up into 20th position for now. Scott Malcolm, by the way, currently bronze class pole. He hasn't got a bronze class pole so far this season, so good luck for the Team Mad driver to keep that up.
I know that poor Dries Mujdi has been cursed by me in the previous race, but he's still a member of the bronze class. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I still haven't changed my overlay. Sorry.
Not a problem. Poor Dries. I mean, you know, we know he deserves a class on his own after I commentator cursed him so badly last week at Monza. Van der Sliek
hasn't won a race this season.
Out of nowhere gets into second place. Martin van Loosenord is really struggling to find some clean track. Here we go. But I don't think this is going to be a good lap, sadly, for him. Yes, he is still in P32. Let's go on board with him and see if he can find a good run now. Because time is running out for him and he's still hasn't got a valid lap apart from the out lap.
I believe that's Luke Thies just ahead. And Leesnord makes quick work of the McLaren. But you can see how many cars he's got up ahead. Next up, another Audi. But this has been a good lap so far from Martin van Leesnord, just weaving his way around this circuit. And it is quite staggering when you go on board with him. You can really see where he gains those half a second or so. And of course, some pretty good setups I imagine he's using as well, which really suit his driving style, hence why he's won so many races so far this season. And that Audi is looking absolutely planted still. This way they could get some backing up through the final part of the circuit as Kevin van der Slick crosses the line. And he is still in second place. What can Van Leesnord do? Still hasn't set a valid lap time. He's probably got a couple more attempts after this one. And the driver has taken pole position so many times, more times than anyone else so far this season. He approaches the line. He's got a 21.1 to beat.
And he does
it's a
so.
20.9, 1.5 tenths faster. So not domination for Martin van Leesnord, but it's just about enough for now.
Yes, just enough. And I mean, as Bud Boland goes up to P5, I mean, I think he will tell you this is one of the toughest, if not the toughest, qualifying session of the season, because you are weaving through the traffic. Dion Phillips, who is in 5th, and coming home. Also, Marcel van der Linden leaving it very, very late. You can see maybe in the back end of your shot. Still without a time. Here he comes home. And I think that will not be a valid lap for the number 3 driver for Atomic Motorsport. Yes. So van der Linden is still last. Momentarily last. Yeah. But
yes, I was just going to say how he tends to leave it quite late.
Yeah, I mean,
and,
maybe not the best, but I learned not to question Marcel because he's really a driver that likes to think outside of the box, and more often than not he is in the right. Here we go, Bot Boland, and behind him should see Ruben van Buel come home. He's improving in the 2nd sector and in the 5th sector. P7 for him, another good sector in the final one, but still 1.2 seconds behind the pole sitter. Pole sitter is sitting in the pits, he is happy with his time, and maybe confident that he can get the pole position home.
Great qualifying so far for Dion Phillips up there in 4th position for the Excite Audio Sim Racing division. Across the line, and it is no improvement, about 1/10 slower than his best time so far. We got 20 more seconds in qualifying. Of course, once a driver starts their lap time, they are allowed to finish it. It's not like official says, of course. It's a league series. Tom Methel approaching line. So he'll have one more lap to go after this one, but I think this is going to be his do or die lap, and it does go up into 9th position for now. So strong for Tom Methel there. And Ronald Moons now crossing the line for Racemaster Esports. And he jumps way up into 15th place. Big for him because it gives him a chance at maybe winning that silver category, only a couple of places lower than the current silver class pole sitter, Jeremy Hessels. What can Ruben van Buel do early on? He was he was in provisional pole. He's currently in 7th place. And it is an improvement for him. He goes up into 5th.
Yes, as we are waiting for the final few drivers to come home, the Tige also coming through, Van der Linden again coming through. Sadly, I cannot switch my camera to him for whatever reason, so we'll have to just be happy with the graphics on the bottom of the screen. As here we go, in the pits goes the Tige. Here comes Van der Linden, as we see Clays go, and another lap that is not valid, I think. No, it is, and it's a bad lap. He will start 31st. So Marcel van der Linden with a tough qualifying session. Robbie Carenda for Nomad is also on the racetrack right now and stopping. Davey Whittables not racing with us tonight, the silver champion. He is having some hardware issues. Also, David Fuller, the bronze champion, not racing as well. Both of these drivers, together with Martin van Loosenord, they are already enjoying new pieces of hardware at home. They have been given the trophies earlier this week, and I have to say those trophies look absolutely great. So congratulations to them, and I'm sure they will be watching the race with us. I know that Davey is trying to sort out his hardware issues in time for season 5. Okay, Sam, we are ready, and let's go with the starting grid.
Yes, and it's championship winner Martin van Loosenholt on pole position for the final round of the championship here at Brands Hatch. Matthias de Tige starts alongside him on the front row, the good 1.5 tenths slower in qualifying. Kevin van der Slick and Dion Phillips make up the second row. They are very close to the two front runners in qualifying. Ruben van Buell starts in 5th with Bod Boland in 6th. Lewis Ward starts in 7th place, Ewan Marshall in 8th, Tom Methel in 9th, and Jeremy Hessel's top of the silver drivers in 10th. Behind that is Chris Moretta, Ian Roots. Dries Mujli is the pole sitter in the bronze category, looking for his first win of the season, and it's certainly long overdue. Stephen De Wolf is second place out of the silver drivers, with Ronald Means in third, and then it's Benjamin Mears, second place out of the bronze drivers. Behind that is Gregory Ranks, Andrew Hopley, Nick Shermans, and Steve Clays rounding out the top 20. Then it's Ben Thanes, John Barnes, Thies Berg, Scott Malcolm, Robbie Carrender, Kevin Boland, Stu Musselwhite, John McConville, Lee Woodburn, Stephen Kastrup, Marcel van der Linden, certainly very much out of position there in 31st, Jochen Lennartz, William Bush, and Luke Thies. And hopefully, Lee Deemer will be taking the start, and that'll make a 35 car field. Quite remarkable, the consistency of participation this season, Marco. It is, we give a lot of praise to this league, but what they've managed to achieve is quite remarkable over the past couple of years to create such a legion of drivers who are fully committed to this season, who will absolutely come back for next season, undoubtedly. And despite being a relatively simple format, they've absolutely attracted a lot of drivers. And the drivers who do get into this series, they stick with it. And that's why we've seen a lot of drivers from last season retained for this season. And a lot of those guys will stay for next season as well.
Yes, absolutely. And let me, take this moment of the pace lap here. It's going to be a full pace lap here in Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, just to, expand a little bit on what you're saying, because very often we see series start, big, and at come the end of the season the numbers are dwindling. But that is not the case with this championship. We also have seen many championships, start big, start great, have, the moment they get, the TV, let's say TV exposure, and then they maybe lose track of what made them great. This has not been the case with this championship. After getting the races streamed, which it's been since the very end of season 2. In the final round, there has been some, I would say, um, expected issues, but they were dealt by the organizers in a great way, and that is all part of the plan, I think, of making this championship bigger and better every time. And certainly, uh, every time we talk to Ian Roots, it seems like he has a clear picture in his mind of what he wants to do to make this championship better and better as the seasons go forward. And certainly the results speak for themselves, because the number of drivers, like you said, is great. Next season, the Racecraft Esports team, which is also going to change name, by the way, and they are going to they have been learn to race, learn to drive, Racecraft Esports, and now they will change their name to something else, which I shall tell you in a second. But basically they are saying they are bringing on other drivers as well, you know, so absolutely fantastic job done by the championship. And you know, we still have one race to go, 75 minutes of racing. I already cannot wait for season 5.
Absolutely. Here we go then. Final race of the season in the DynamiXX Simracersworld GT Series, and away we go. Van Leeuwenhoek from the pole position. It's not a fantastic start for him, and Matthias de Tiege will pull into the lead. Can he make it stick going into turn 1? Van Leeuwenhoek perhaps has the side bit line.
Oh, Van
Van Buel
Buel!
makes contact with Phillips behind, and Van Buel is going to make contact with a couple of the Meraki Racing drivers. That could be big for the team's championship later on, but Van Buel stranded in the track, and now we've got another big impact. I'm not sure who that is involving, but
Van der Linden, I
Van der
think.
Linden then trying to make his way up, and we've got another pile up there. Stephen de Wolf, I believe, getting caught up with Ben Mears, if I'm correct with that one. So plenty of issues on this opening half a lap here at Brands Hatch. Out in the lead though, De Tiege did make it stick. He's ahead of Mark Van Leeuwenhoek. How long can he hold on for it though? Not an easy track to overtake, but he's got 2 Racecraft Esports Gold drivers really close behind him, wanting to make the move imminently.
Sadly, that was what we were fearing, you know, the first lap in a track like this, always dangerous. It doesn't take much. Van Buel, you know, one of the best drivers in the championship, one of the veterans of the championship, losing the car, I don't know if by himself or because of some contact, and there is no way to go. Bad luck for the Meraki Racing drivers, the 2 AMG cars. I think, yeah, there was nowhere they could have gone. Matthias de Tiege, the winner of the Zolder round, by the way, is in the lead. And let's see, because this is certainly not the start that Van Leeuwenhoek had in mind. Like you said, very, very hard to overtake in this particular racetrack. As Iwan Marshall has jumped to the pits. Dion Phillips with big issues as well.
Yeah, he was the other driver involved straight away in that collision.
Oh
Oh
dear.
wow, he's been taken out again. Yeah, unfortunate collision that time. And so Dion Phillips, is he part of that team then? The goal? No, he isn't part of the Meraki Racing team, which is trying to go for the title. Yeah, of course he's Excite. Apologies. It's Moretta, Boland, and Methil are parts of the Meraki racing team, with Van Leeuwenhoek and Van der Slik going up against them in the Racecraft Esports Gold car. We'll certainly keep an eye out on that one as the racing goes on. But you can see the divide so far in the track. You've got the top 4, and then you've got a 3-second gap back to the leader of the silver drivers, Jeremy Hessels, who's had a really good qualifying, and this is pretty much as high up as we've seen a silver driver be all season long. So terrific start there for Jeremy. And he's holding back Chris Moretta very impressively, and of course Moretta needs to make up some positions to help out his team in the championship. Ian Roots is up into 7th position. That's pretty much as high up as Roots has been for the entire season. And so a really mixed up grid, with Andrew Hopley gaining 9 positions out there. So that start, Marco, has really given a few drivers a good chance, including Jules Mouchli, up in the top 10.
Absolutely, and now getting overtaken by Gregory Ranks, but I don't think, you know, he cares. Well, of course he cares, but he has a good gap over Ben Thames, second in his bronze class. Van Leeuwenhoek on the fastest lap of the race this last time around, as he's looking, as you can see, to push hard and maybe force De Tiege to make a mistake, but De Tiege, a very, very experienced driver in the championship. Once again, it's not going to be easy to overtake. Look at the amount of time that the Audi is making in the middle portion of the lap. And of course the Audi, you know, big power. It's a car that really, if you can take it to the limit, is probably the best GT3 car out there, but it really needs a good driver behind the wheel, otherwise, you know, you are not going anywhere.
Absolutely, and Martin Van Leeuwenhoek is certainly a very good driver into turn 1. This is where the lead changed on the opening lap, and you can see De Tiege pretty much defending for this entire half lap, just pulling away a little bit through paddock bend, but no, that's the gap that you got to have going into turn 2, because such a big braking point. The driver behind can go for a big dive, and also it's by far the best overtaking opportunity on the circuit. I imagine he's sweating quite a bit at the moment, and he's going to be sweating for potentially another hour or so, because this is a very long race, and once again, super close is Van Loosenord. Got better straight line speed as well, although only in the second half of this straight can you see him really starting to gain some time. Pretty much impossible to go for a move into that quick right-hander, but every corner he just seems to be getting a better exit. That BMW so good on the brakes, but the Audi just seemingly a little bit more pace through and out of the corners. But a brilliant defense at the moment from the Sim Racers World driver.
Driver's absolutely on the limit as another lap is in the books.
So at the moment in the bronze teams championship, I think the championship looks very strong for Dynamics Racing Amp, because Jeez Mujdi is doing very well at the moment. Theisberg having a decent run, I believe, as well. And with the only, I don't think any of the Team GB drivers are here today, so it doesn't look like they're going to be scoring particularly big. So as long as Mujdi keeps it on the circuit, looks as though the title is going their way. Almost side by side for the race lead. Super close as Martin van Loosenor. I should also add that the start incidents are under review from the stewards, and so potentially expect a couple of penalties for drivers, because if drivers are already out of the race, I don't really know what they can do, Marco, in terms to penalise. It'd be a bit harsh to penalise them for next season. But, Van Loosenor almost spinning it coming out of that corner. But, yeah, they're kind of limited with the penalties that they can give at this point in the season.
You know, the incident will be investigated after the race, as they
Really?
as they say in F1, you know. Which usually means, you know, a slap on the wrist and don't do it again. But the stewards of this championship are very, very good stewards, so they will certainly find a solution. And you know, there hasn't been, you know, many, you know, things that they have got. I mean, if any, that they've gotten wrong all season long. They have been very, very good, and providing also live stewarding, which is something that it is really, really, you know, well liked by the drivers. Mujdi getting passed by Ronald Munso. You see Ben Thanes is getting closer and closer as we switch back to the front. Seems like in the first sector of the racetrack. Van Loosenord is really good, and they almost come side by side as they go into the backstretch, but then the BMW is able with the Tige to somewhat put you know, his opponent back behind. And of course, Sam, one thing we should say with a lap that is only 1 minute 21 seconds, lap traffic is going to become an issue very, very soon.
Yes, it absolutely is. Apologies for the slight delay, having to deal with a cat for a moment there. But no, yeah, traffic's certainly going to play a part. We saw it certainly very prominent at Laguna Seca earlier on in the season, but since then hasn't been so much of an issue. But you're absolutely right, today could be a problem, and in this extra long race will play a part. Marcel van der Linden getting caught up in a first lap incident. It's not holding him back too much, though, it must be said. He's currently running in 25th position, and looking to gain another place very soon. To teach under big pressure, and here comes Van Loosenord down the inside. This is where he can often get on the circuit, but struggles to really make it after that. And once again, to teach pulls ahead, and there's just nothing being given at the moment from the BMW.
I mean, every time they go to the first sector, it's absolutely neck and neck, and then the team is able to put the power down maybe a fraction of a second. Then Martin van Loosenord unable to you know, get that little bit of extra speed needed to stay in front, but how long is it going to last? Because I can only imagine the amount of pressure that the Tige is under. Whilst Van Loosenord, you know, overall title in the bag, gold title in the bag, team championship looking very, very good with Van der Slik in second, and the Meraki Racing AMG drivers in 4th and 6th right now. Whilst the other AMG for Meraki Racing, Tom Metrol, sadly already out of the race. So is the Meraki Racing R8 driver Iwan Marshall. But it's Meraki AMG, the team that is fighting for the team championship, as you can see, sliding as they get onto the Grand Prix track. This time a better first sector for the Tige, but still, look at the gap, absolutely so small, and any small mistake either by the Tige or Van Loosenord is going to be massive, even the smallest mistake.
Yeah, that's what this race could come down to. But he survived so far for 10 minutes. Unfortunately, he's only, what, about a 7th into this race. It's going to be a tough deal, this, for Matthias de Tige to hold on to this lead for much longer. He's certainly giving a very good go at the moment. Jeremy Hassel's coming under increasing pressure from Chris Moretta and Lewis Ward behind. Ward, of course, got his first podium of the season at Monza last time out with a 2nd position, I believe. And he's currently running in a strong 7th place as Van Loosenord down the inside. And that could be the race decisive move, getting the move done into turn 2. Past Matthias de Tige, and Marco, you knew it was happening. You stuck with the cameras, and well, that's why you've got that job, and I've got mine.
If I haven't been fired already, you know, 1 year and a half, hopefully, that means that something, you know, apart from saying names, I can do. But great move by Van Loosenord. I mean, the Tige, you know, had soft to him, but he was under so much pressure from Van Loosenord, and this time he got it right. Maybe we can get a replay of the overtake. Hopefully nothing happens in the meantime from the chopper. You can see not the best of lines through turn 1 for the Tige, a little bit too wide, didn't get the apex right, a little bit of contact, but I think, yes, nothing major there, and the all-conquering Martin van Loosenord looking to get, I mean, the only things that stopped him this season have been EF Van Genechten and a disconnection, if I'm not mistaken, because apart from that, he has won every race he took part in, you know, except for those 2 races there. Yes. This is a fight for 6th and 7th in silver, and Boland and Dimmer are having some very, very close quarter battling, and I think they also both went into the grass. As you can see, Ruben van Buel is also coming through and trying to sneak past these 2 drivers. Speaking of which, let's get a replay of the start, shall we? And see what happened to the Buell Racing driver and the chaos that ensued soon after that.
Yeah, so you got to watch the driver on the outside on the 2nd row. That's Dion Phillips, and also the green car on the inside on the 3rd row. That's Ruben van Buel.
Oh!
And well, I think probably maybe Van Buel was a little bit wide there, but at the same time it's difficult because, of course, Phillips was trying to get on the inside after almost being pushed off the circuit. So difficult situation there, no doubt. Van Buel still going, so credit to him. And with the other drivers going by, also Ben Mears and Sim de Wolf still battling one another. They were making contact at turn 2 in the race, and ever since then they've still been battling. But plenty of issues for a few of the drivers there. Stuart Musselwhite up into 15th place. I was actually racing against Stuart earlier on in the Porsche iRacing Cup, or whatever it's called, in the Porsche Cup car. I say racing against him. I got taken out half a lap into the race, but I did out-qualify Stuart, so I'll certainly take that one. Not sure how he did in the end, but he's doing very well at the moment. in 15th place overall.
Marcel van der Linden should be battling hard with Kevin Bolland. If I can find where they are, here we go. Look at this train of cars with John McConville as well. Battles all over the field, as you can see on the track map on the right side of your screen. 15 minutes in, so 1 hour left in this season finale. Van Luzner has got 1 second over the Tish. The Tish made a small mistake in the previous lap, went for a ride into the grass, but nothing major, so he's still in front of Van der Slick. Boland is in 4th and Essels is in 5th. As you can see, Essels is defending from Chris Moretta. Moretta wanting to get the position, and behind him it's Lewis Ward, who we have been promised he will show up in the post-race interview tonight.
Really?
So
wow.
that's what his fan club is saying, and was saying before the race. So yeah, we will be waiting for him later in the night.
I mean, I really hope so. There goes Ruben van Buell. That is past Lee Dima. You started last in this race. You didn't even set a qualifying time, Dima. May have been the wise thing to do in hindsight. The Excite Racing driver drops a position to 18th. Just a reminder, of course, we've got the bronze, the silver, and sorry, I'll do that again. The gold, the silver, and the bronze categories. So currently, the gold, of course, you can assume Martin Van Liesnold leading that one. The silver, Jeremy Hessels, and by quite a comfortable margin. He is currently 8.5 seconds ahead of Ronald Moons, and 5 cars ahead as well. So Jeremy Hessels looking very strong. He can let Moretta and Ward pass, and it wouldn't be the end of the world for Jeremy Hessels. He's already won a couple of races, I believe, so far this season. In the bronze category, it's Jais Mujdi looking for his first win of the season. And he's only 2 seconds ahead of Ben Thanes, though, who's won 1 race, I believe, this season in that class. So would certainly be a big win for either of them if they could clinch it. But Mujdi currently looking very good after dropping a few places early on. Has been very much maintaining that 14th place for a few laps now. Nothing that Moretta can seem to do, Marco. And rather annoyingly for Meraki Racing, they've gone down from 3 drivers to 2 drivers, and it's kind of all in Racecraft Esports hands now. Running in 1st and 3rd. Unfortunately, Boland isn't really interfering in that battle at the moment. All that Moretta and Boland can do now is just hope that something happens to Van Liesnold or Van der Slick.
Yes, absolutely. So, you know, and we have to say it because, you know, sometimes we have to say it, you know, because it's part of the sport, of any sport. Sometimes your only chance is, you know, some misfortune to your opponents. There is nothing bad in it. It's part of what can happen. But sadly, for the Meraki Racing, I think, boys, the AMG team especially, the worst possible start of the race that they could have ever imagined in this important, very, very important final round of the season. I mean, it has been absolutely a joy to behold, to see this team come through, and we have noticed many, many times during the season, you know, they were all running very closely in pace. They really seem to be a closely knit unit. So, you know, they made fantastic progress, you know, a new team for this season, but heartbreaking to see the cars, you know, unfortunately get involved in that mess at the very beginning of the race. But, you know, on the other hand, certainly they look like they can be even more of a contender in the future.
Yeah, they'll be one of the teams back for next season, no doubt, along with many others. Hopefully, yeah, a few more Racecraft Esports judges, or their name will be Reb Match Esports, which personally is a fantastic name. So credit to whoever thought of that one. That is a seriously cool name.
It's something I
think
cannot
they've won
do.
the title already.
something I cannot do to rev match. So yeah, you know, the other two names they had, Learn to Drive and Learn to Race, sounded like, something that one would say to me. So now we are back in the area of suggestions to Marco, rev match, which is very, very tough. Sadly, I have no coordination.
So I'm not familiar with Red Match.
Do you have 2 or 3 pedals in your,
I have 3 pedals.
You have to basically, you have to when you go down the gears, you have to match the revs in order to have, if you drive GT3 cars, it's not an issue, of course, because but for the older cars, you risk blowing the engine because you have no downshift protection, so you have to make sure that when you go down, use a little bit of the clutch and the brakes and the throttle pedal at the same time to go down and not put too much stress on the engine, or avoid using too much locking your wheels, for example, and stuff like that. Wheel hopping, I think that's the right term. So yeah, but you are an expert at GTs and GT3s, so you have to rev match with the Porsche Cup car. So
Yes, I turned the auto blipping on, which I think kind of sorts that all out. There's kind of locking with the rear tires that way. But no, of course I just like the name, to be honest. Rev Match. That just sounds really cool. But now it's actually got a meaning, even better.
well,
So
wait for it, because
congratulations.
I'm waiting in the chat for someone to say, Marco, what the hell are you saying, and which would be probably true. Lewis Ward isn't finding a way past Chris Moretta right now. He's so close. And look behind, because Andrew Opley is slowly creeping into this battle. And this is the closest fight in the field, as we will stay with these guys for a bit. Jeremy Hessel's enjoying this, because he's been able to get 0.7 more or less of a second of a gap, which is not a big gap, but when the cars behind you are so close to each other, it is a decent gap to have. Of course, a long way to go, pit stops still to come, and let's see how this situation unfolds.
Ian Roots is having a great run out there. He was up in 7th position, I believe, in the early stages. Has dropped back a little bit, down into 9th place, 4 seconds behind that pack of cars. Next up behind him is Gregory Ranks, and these two are teammates. They're both Sim Racers World drivers, and so I wouldn't be surprised there's a bit of a swap of positions. Franks hasn't been, I think, former race winner in this series. He hasn't really come close to winning a race this season. But well, hopefully he'll be back for next season. Still being a solid campaign from him, some good consistent points. I wonder where he is in the championship. Actually, I have a quick glance. Ranks is in 9th place in the championship, so he's good at being in 9th place, it's safe to say, as Van Buell drops down.
Yeah, Van Buell went very, very deep at Druids, and then I think he gave the position back to Musselwhite, because that was a very, very aggressive overtake attempt on his part. Let's get a replay of that from the chopper. You can see he was not very close. He still went for the move. You can see contact made here behind the tree, and then I think, yes, he's slowing down and lets Musselwhite get the position back. That's why we love this championship in the heat of the battle, of course. Not easy to do something like that, especially for Ruben, who is, wildly out of position, and certainly, carrying some damage from the mess at the very start of the race.
Yeah, very good of him to do that, because I'm not sure, I don't think the stewards would have intervened there. And considering that we saw in recent motorsport a driver kind of forcing someone completely off the circuit in a similar scenario, the fact that he actually left quite a bit of room on the side of the circuit, could have got away with that, but that is fantastic sportsmanship. And I must say, I've seen a lot of good sportsmanship around this track, actually, in various leagues that we've covered. So it's just a very happy track seemingly is Brands Hatch. And well, in some series, of course, we get to the final round of the championship, and there'd be some drivers with big rivalries, some big egos to settle, some scores to settle. But well, in this series, everyone's incredibly mellow, and I must say the driving standards so far, apart from maybe that opening half a lap, have been absolutely fantastic so far. Marcel van der Linden was involved in that opening lap, and he's still trying to get past Ben Thanes. Thanes second place in the bronze drivers, and still with a good chance of winning that bronze race. So maybe if I were him, Marco, and you know, he may well know better than me, I'd kind of let Van der Linden go and let him catch and pass all those cars ahead and maybe wait for potentially an incident. But at the moment, he seems quite happy to stay ahead of him.
Yes, and they are both going very, very wide there, so taking some big risks.
There you go.
Yes,
He listened to me.
Yeah, I mean, we know that all the drivers listen to us, even during the race, and some of them can even, you know, issues for Lewis Ward. He dropped one position to Andrew Opley, so I guess he went into the grass. The car seems to be okay. At the same time, side-by-side racing between Mujdi, Musselwhite, Van Buell, and this is getting very, very close. Bronze, gold, and silver all together. And Ben Thanes, you can see, second in the bronze class. He is looking for any opportunity to get back at the race lead of his class. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Here comes Van der Linden as well. Mujdi lets them all by, which I think is the smart thing to do. We have, on oval racing especially, the concept that instead of hold, I mean, if it's the last lap, you hold as Van der Linden tries to make the move on Van Buell. As Musselwhite goes very wide, this is going to be tricky. He is able to save the car. Now Mujdi, all his generosity, and Ben Thanes is so close to him. And this is going to be a spicy fight for the lead in bronze. So, finish my concept. Basically, what you say is that if you have a car behind you, you let him by instead of blocking and getting a train of cars behind you. As Thanes on the inside, new leader in bronze.
Well, that's how quickly things can change. And no doubt if there was no traffic involved, then Thanes wouldn't have been able to make the move there, but that's really let down Gilles Mujdi. He's dropped 4 positions in 1 lap right there, and 3 of them too, they kind of let go, but that last one he certainly didn't want to let go. This is what happened to Lewis Ward a few moments ago. He was chasing down Chris Muretta and Jeremy Hessels, but you can see maybe a slight lack of concentration or pushing a little bit too hard there, and Lewis Ward goes off the circuit and loses 1 extra place, which he will really be frustrated with. Yes, good avoidance, to be fair.
That was inches away from disaster, and you know, the Meraki guys, I think they have had enough for the night of damaged race cars. Good driving there from Lewis to make the most out of the tricky situation. At the same time, Moretta and Essels, this is the fight for 5th. Essels leader in the silver class. Moons is in second, several positions behind actually. But still, no intention of letting anyone past is Jeremy Essels, so he's holding on to 5th place.
Yep, for DynamiXX, the series sponsor, and we do give them a lot of thanks to DynamiXX, Double X. Certainly to give them a Google search, or any search engine that you wish to choose. But no, paintballing and sim racing, which to me is a fantastic combination. Unfortunately, you can't do both at the same time. They are working on that, hopefully, but soon.
You know, with
that
VR,
would be
imagine you drive in VR, and at the same time you use maybe augmented reality to play paintball, or you can move. Right now, for example, Moretta could peek out of his driver window and shoot, paintball with his paintball gun at Jeremy Essels. I don't know, would make for an interesting race. Hey, sorry guys, it's the final round of the season, and as you know, I'm getting older with each round that goes by. So,
Well,
speaking
you
of,
can't deny that.
Essels is defending so well, but so hard, and this, I think, in time, if these guys cannot pass him quickly, I think this will bring back Ian Roots and potentially Ronald Moons as well. So that is the double-edged sword. Of course, we already saw that with the bronze class. So you either want to let these guys by as quick as you can, because once that rival closes in, he will effectively be in the hunt thanks to your defending, So you really need to think when to, let these opponents by and think only about your class, or, when to try to hold on and keep the position. And of course, a top 5 in the final round of the season is certainly, a big result. And Essels, that is why he's, every right in the world to defend.
Do we know how Ronald Moons got past Gregory Ranks? Because that was a change of position for 10th place. And, well, you're very good at your job, Marco, I must say. And this is how it happens. Down the inside, great move, and, well, credit to Gregory Ranks that gave a lot of space on the inside, was a little bit early on the brakes. And Ronald Moons having a good run in the silver drivers, and you're absolutely right, Michael, what you were saying earlier on about the double-edged sword defending. If Jeremy Hessels does do too much defending, Ronald Moons could get involved, because I can see Moons perhaps getting past Roots relatively soon. He seems to have good pace, does the 296 driver. And yeah, he's only 5.5 seconds behind the current leader in the silver category. So keep an eye out on this one. Of course, 75 minutes this race, not just an hour. And well, thankfully, we've still got quite a bit left to go in this race. But mainly, we're not halfway through yet, like normal. So plenty more action to come. Don't expect the drivers in for probably another 15 minutes. But certainly strategy could play quite a part. Of course, Marco, there's so many drivers out here today. If there was like a smaller field, you could probably come into the pits and not have too much traffic to worry about. But the undercut today, probably not going to be very effective, because you pit and you're guaranteed to come out in traffic. And we've seen it's not easy to overtake around this place. So they're all pretty much going to have to push it as far as they can on fuel.
Sam, I always say the beauty of being live. We have a very special guest with us in the booth right now. None other than Alex Simpson. Hello, Alex.
Yeah, hello guys.
So,
just thought I'd pop my head in and just see how things are going and watch this race. And yeah, it looks like a good one. Brands Hatch, final round. What a race to come and gate crash the party.
yeah, I mean, we have really loved covering this championship. We were talking with Sam since the beginning of, since the end of season 2, as Marcel van der Linden sadly is ending his season in disappointing fashion. We just saw the back end of that, but certainly this championship, the weight is growing, and of course, Alex, we follow together, the steps when they first were interested in getting the final round broadcasted, and then, getting on for the full season 3 and now full season 4. It really shows that this is a championship that has been, organized and brought forward by, people that know what they are doing, and it's a joy to have. Even in the final round of the season, so many cars, because we were talking with Sam earlier, usually a lot of series start big in the first round and then the numbers go down, but this series always has had, all season long, 35, 40 starters. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you say, most people just drop off. They had that mid sort of change in the date from Thursday to Wednesday as well, and it's just a testament really to Ian and the crew that set this up. The fact that they managed to have the numbers throughout the season again. So yeah, awesome. And yeah, looks like another competitive season. And I'll be tuning in again if we do another season. Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait for season 5. Going to have more drivers signing in for the what seems to be like the not only the team of the new champion Martin van Loosener, but also seems to be like they're going to be the winning team in the gold category Racecraft Esports. They have very quick drivers. It seems like they will bring on more drivers and some returning faces from the past. You know, certainly these guys have come into the championship this season, and they have you know, changed the pecking order there at the top, and it has been you know, a breath of fresh air for everyone, because they really came in and conquered, and of course setting the bar very high. This also means that everyone else will want to be, you know, want to join them at the top of the table. And the cars we are seeing right now, the Meraki Racing drivers especially, not only them, of course, Simracersworld as well. I think they will work hard between this season and the next season to get, you know, closer and closer to the top.
Well, congratulations to all the winners in the series and the different classes. I know Martin well, and yeah, he's a heck of a driver, so congrats to him and his team. And yeah, like I say, I look forward to seeing if someone can give him a run for his money next season. Thank you very much for sticking me in here just for a little chat, and I'll leave you guys to the rest of the race. Congrats, and good luck to everybody.
Thank you very much, Alex, and catch you soon. And this was Alex Simpson. So nice surprise, Sam. I mean, as we just had an issue for Ronald Moons, who was, in the words of Sam, about to get up into you know, the top 8, top 9 fighting with Ian Roots, but sadly a mistake there cost him dearly, and now he's had to deal with a lot of damage for the rest of the race. So we even had the surprise, Sam, of Alex joining us in this, you know, like I said in the beginning of the broadcast, tonight anything can happen, and probably will. So at least I'm true to my words.
Yes, and anyone who's watched the Facebook page recently, I've done a lot of Star Wars quotes, Star Wars memes, and well, that was in the words of Obi-Wan. That was a surprise, but certainly a welcome one. As Lee Woodburn, well, that's not a welcome surprise for him. So he goes off into the barrier and falls down the order. So a few mistakes perhaps creeping in for the drivers. Certainly that middle part of the lap, down Graham Hill Bend and such. Certainly a very difficult part of the circuit. And of course, that mistake for Ronald means still somehow in third position. But he's going to be under pressure from Nick Sherman's soon. Steve Clays then up into second place out of the Silver Judge, and Jeremy Hessels with a big gap, 11 seconds over Steve Clays. So it's looking really strong for Jeremy Hessels to get that win. He's already had, Jeremy Hessels, 2 wins so far this season. In fact, he's won 2 of the last 3 races. So it'd be a fantastic end for his championship. And well, if he does stick as a silver driver for next season, definitely going to be one of the favourites.
Oh yes, of course, another big point as, sorry if I switch away, but our race leader is getting into some traffic, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, as that is Scott Malcolm. Oh no, Andrew Opley contact, and he's taking the short way around. Oh, I think he clipped the wall there into the Indy layout. Seems like his car is okay. I may have jumped the gun. That was a clumsy moment all around. Let's get a replay of that, Sam, and see what happened.
Yeah, it was a crazy few corners, and yeah, drops way down the order now, down into 9th position is Andrew Hopley.
Oh, there was some contact. Okay,
he?
so yeah, no, I thought he made contact with Scott, but no, that wasn't the case. He made contact with Lewis. And yeah, he did clip the barrier. Yeah.
I don't think that's going to cause any damage though. So it's got nothing significant.
So big apologies to Scott, but the camera angle there made it look like there was contact with the Team Mad car. As you can see, you know, it was once again I stand my words, but because that was a bit clumsy. But Lewis Ward slowing down, yeah, and letting Andrew Opley go by. Ronald Moons is in, and of course he has to deal with that big damage he got earlier, a couple of laps ago, when we were showing the, his climb up through the ranks, and he was getting closer to the top 10 overall. Essels under massive pressure from Moreta now.
Well, this battle has been going on for the entire race. Moreta, perhaps for the first time, will get his nose ahead, but does he have the line round the outside through the right-hander? And he's got a superb run on the exit. Still not going to be completely clear. Now he is. And finally, after, 40 minutes of racing, 40 minutes of racing, finally, we have got Chris Moreta up into the top 5. It was a valiant defense from Jeremy Hessels. But in the end, drops down into 6th place, and that was a big move there from Moreta. It's now a Meraki Racing 4 and 5. It's not enough for them to win the championship, but they're certainly putting them in a position to pick up on any mistakes that Kevin Van Slick of Martin Van Liesveld commit later on in the race. So, yeah, a little bit too late, I hasten to add, for Moreta, because he's now 16 seconds behind his teammate.
Andrew Opley is in the pits, Meraki Racing R8, as we say hello in the race chat to Bobby Childs, Ricmotech series mainstay and new face of the Euro V8s, which are coming back on Saturday, by the way, for the first points paying round of the season. I'm happy to report that before this race I tested the new crazy reverse wheel, and it should work as intended this time around, so you don't want to miss that. As you can see, Lewis Ward slicing through the traffic. That is Stephen the Wolf as Musselwhite and Thanes and Mushti. These three guys have been very, very close all the race long, and of course Thanes and Mushti are in the fight for the lead in bronze right now. And as you can see right now, especially on the bottom of your screen, you can see the drivers are... Oh, Lewis Ward is around, contact with one of the Racecraft esports cars.
Clay's, I believe. And Ward turning back to the pits. Such a shame. And Mr. Consistently had 3 consecutive 5th places at the start of the season, then 3 consecutive 4th places, and then he didn't turn up for 4 rounds, and then a 2nd place last time, and now another retirement, which breaks that slight consistency. Steve Close tried to wait for him. Honestly, this track is so gentlemanly. I don't know if it's stuck in like the 1910s, but everyone is being so polite up there. There was Clay's, and honest mistake there. You could see how just getting stuck behind a wolf, I believe, was the driver ahead, and getting caught out there, Clay's, and a bit of contact. Shame for him. He's up into 7th place overall, as all the pit stops take effect. To Teej into the pits was about 8 seconds off the race lead, so don't expect this to be a mind-blowing undercut which gets him into the race lead. It's probably just going to maintain that position, but the pit stops are really happening now. Nick Sherman's has come into the pits, and he is where is Sherman's? Apologies. Sorry, in 14th place, and just getting past Thijs Berg right there. Very generous there of Berg as well.
I was scrolling frantically through the live timing software to put the camera on Nick, and then I realized that it was already there. So once again, final round of the season. Please be.
Well, you've been so good so far, Marco. You can make some mistakes.
Look at the traffic jam in the pits, absolutely crazy, as we are waiting for everyone to make their stop so we can have a clearer idea of where each driver is standing. Here comes the race leader, Martin van Loosenord. Let's see if his teammate jumps in the pits as well. He does so. I'm expecting also Bod Boland to come in. Let's bring on the graphics, shall we? And see that Moreta should also be in very soon. And the first of the drivers that have already pitted is the Tige. Also, we are missing Steve Clays and Ben Thanes from the pits, as Martin van Loosenord is in, and he
Quick
is
stop.
out. Yeah.
22.9 seconds. Fastest pit stop so far has been 23.3. So not only is Martin Leesnord the fast driver out on circuit, he's the fast driver in the pits. Unfortunately, not like the Williams F1 team, who are fantastic in the pit lane. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite replicate that success on circuit. Van der Slick side by side currently with De Wolf. De Wolf is one lap down. So there goes Van der Slick down the inside and is in third position. Still 3 seconds behind the Teach, so that gap's pretty much maintained, and you can just see the Teach up the road. Poland, 8 seconds behind. Moret maintaining that gap, so not too much change. Roots up into 6th place, and that's a proper 6th place for Ian Roots. And well, as a member and founder of the Ian Roots fan club, I am delighted with his current positioning. Would be by far his best result of the season. And he's got his teammate Gregory Vranks behind him as a bit of a guard. So Ian Reitz hasn't been a fantastic season for him, but he's well on course for a great points haul today.
Let me say one word quickly to William Bush, because he is having such a tough season, involved in many calamities in the early part of the races. So to have him still on the track and in a very competitive 6th place in silver is really good for Novat Sim Racing, and I hope I haven't jinxed him, because that would be absolutely a great result for him.
Well, what would be a great result at the moment, it would be for Steve Clays. He is leading the way in the silver category. So, Clays, who was running third in the early stages and relied from a mistake from Ronald Moons to move up into 2nd place, and now a mistake from Jeremy Hessels in the pit lane, 15 seconds longer. In fact, Clays has had the shortest pit stop of anyone in the field, 21.5 seconds, and you consider the average pit stop time has been kind of high 23 seconds, maybe 24 seconds. Could be pushing it on fuel, could Clays, but either way, you look at it, he's got track position, and that's surely got to be most important thing out there. He's now got to hang on for about half an hour from Jeremy Hessels behind. Both these guys have got 2 wins apiece so far this season, and Nick Sherman's as well is only 8 seconds behind these guys. So this silver championship, which has been thrilling from start to finish, David Whitwell's claiming the championship quite early, it's safe to say. However, you know, there's been so many competitive drives. It was kind of Whitwell's consistency which won him the championship. But which has so many different race winners, so many deservedly race winners as well. And Steve Clays, Jeremy Hessels, and Nick Jones are putting on a show at this final round of the championship.
And as you can see on the screen right now, Steve Clays, the owner of the best driver picture in all of ApexRacingTV. Looks like... oh dear. Okay, maybe he got a little bit emotional from my... oh no!
And are they going to make contact? And they're both into the wall. Steve Clays, Jeremy Hessels, and Nick Shermans. Where is he? He is going to come through to take the lead in the silver category at the final round of the championship. And there's Vranks off. It's all kicking off now. Hessel's out of the race, surely. So too Clays. Such a shame for those 2 drivers. And we've seen such calamity so far for the silver drivers. Thanes having to come into the pits as well, and he was in the lead of the bronze drivers, was Ben Thanes. And this is his 2nd pit stop. So what has happened to Ben Thanes there? But disaster there for the 2 race leaders in the silver category. And, well, I don't know if it was his picture or not, Marco, but well, he's made a mistake there, and it's unfortunately affected Jeremy Hessels as well.
Yeah, that was very unlucky. I mean, he had a tank slapper. Look at that. Mujdi got back into the lead, went wide, and then... oh! So in the bronze class, once again, you know, Mujdi went into the lead again after the pit stops. Lost the lead by going wide, maybe got distracted by the yellow flags. Things got back into the lead, but then he found all the cars stopping there in the middle of the track, and he went hard into the wall. And also we had another car, Gregory Ranks, I think, but this was, you know, independent from what we saw, spinning in the final corner. As behind him the chaos was unfolding. So really surprising turn of events. Nick Schurmans is your leader, and Steve Clays is second now. I don't know how his car is doing, I guess not good. And Dries Mushti is the leader in bronze right now, and he has a massive gap over Thijs Berg in second. And Thanes is in the pits. Who is the next car? Because Woodburn has retired, Malcolm has retired, and Luke Thijs has retired. So we only have 2 running cars in bronze, and the third, I think Ben Thanes will have to spend quite a considerable amount of time in the pits.
Well, quite an extraordinary turn of events. We had the top 2 in the silver category and the leader of the bronze category all getting involved pretty much in one incident. And that has really turned this race on its head. We've seen plenty of incidents so far in this event, and certainly it's living up to the job. We're concentrating on the team's championship going into this race, but I think if you just took this race as an isolation, it has been a fantastic entertainment. Hopefully you've enjoyed it at home or wherever you are, because certainly us in the commentary booth have been enthralled by this. Steve Clays with, is that the race leader going past? I think it is. I think it's
Yes.
Martin van Liesenoord. It sure is. So Van Liesenoord now lapping his own teammates. And well, at this rate, Van Liesenoord is going to lap everyone up to Nick Sherman's. In fact, everyone up to Gregory Ranks out there, who would have lapped everyone apart from the top 6 drivers.
This is what happened to Scott Malcolm, because I think we missed it. The classic crash in this section of the racetrack. But I want to see also again the issue that we had with Steve Clays, if I can find it, because the event viewer is. I want to see the damage on his car. Look at that. He saved it the first time, as you can see, and then maybe, you know, he cooked his tires, and I know that is a big hit. He is surely suffering a lot, and you can see now. You will see coming through, not from this shot, but from this shot, Ben Thanes. Here is the black and orange car, and hard into the wall goes Ben. Absolutely crazy turn of events there. So Steve Clays, as you can see, is dropping, and now he will lose the top 10. I think that FanViewer will make quick work of him.
Trying to figure out what this means for the Silver Championship. So Hessels and De Wolf. So so what position? So Sherman's is now leading then. That could change the way in the Silver Championship, because Hessels was leading, and now instead of Hessels, he's pretty much out of the race, is Jeremy, and instead it's Nick Sherman's. And so I think if it ended right now, they would. Where's Stephen De Wolf actually? De Wolf is doing decent, isn't he? De Wolf is currently in 5th place out of the Silver Jazz. Well, it takes a lot of mathematics, which unfortunately I'm not very good at on the move, despite me receiving an A level. Well, actually I haven't received it yet. I could have got a U in it, I'm not quite sure. But certainly De Wolf helping his team at this point. McConville is in 3rd place, and I think he's part of one of the teams. He's part of the Simracersworld. Basically, we're not going to know what the positions are until the end of the race. But by my calculations, I think Simracersworld have the points to overtake DynamiXX Racing for the championship win.
You said the magic words. We will have to know after the race.
Yes.
Let me give a rundown of the positions in class because we are almost 1 hour into the race. So in gold, and overall for that matter, is Martin van Loosener in first, the Tige in second, Vanderslick is in third, Bob Boland for Meraki Racing AMG is in fourth, and Chris Moretta for Meraki Racing AMG as well is in fifth. For the silver class, we have the leader Nick Schurmans, still leading from the wounded car of Steve Claes. John McConville is behind him in third place, then Stuart Musselwhite, McConville's teammate for Simracersworld Pro-Am, and like we said earlier, Steven de Wolf is your fifth placed car in the silver class. And in the bronze, well, there is Mujdi in first and by Thijsberg in second. And like we said earlier, Ben Thanes is he has just retired in this very moment. So yeah, 2 cars left on the track for the bronze class. It has been very, very unlucky for Thanes. Thanes was in the lead, of course. Woodburn, Malcolm, Luke Tice with his McLaren. Certainly, high attrition rate in a track like this. Like we said, when you extend the distance of the race, it is quite, probable to have lots of retirements because, it is, And I'm not saying that Spa is an easy track. But in Spa, we have 50 minutes more than usual, okay? There's lots of straights, there's a lot of places where you can, maybe get a little bit of breathing here and there, But here, there is absolutely, and the track is much, much longer, so there are more separation between the various cars. But here, it's completely different.
I've just done some rough scores. So we'll just watch this. Van Buell versus Claes, and Van Buell finally gets in that move done. Claes has got a lot of damage. Van Buell's got a bit of damage himself, to be fair. But that Jordan-inspired livery moves up into 10th place, and that's a decent recovery after being basically crashing on the opening corner. I've done some sums of the Silver Championship. It's really close. That's pretty much all I can give you. Honestly, I've got currently the gap is about 40 points, and I've literally got Simracersworld scoring 40 more points than Dynamics Racing. So someone's got to be very quick after the race to solve it, because we would love to know who's actually won that championship at the end of the race.
People
this
in the chat
to Lewis Ward,
asking for what happened, and so we have once again the replay. Steve Claes making contact with the driver of the Alpine Sim Sport team, and that sadly was the end of the race. Where were we? Okay, so Mujdi, the Wolf and Barnes, bronze, silver and gold in this order, because that is, the way this race has gone. We used to say in wrestling terms, in a particularly crazy night, we say that we are in bizarre world, and for some aspects tonight it has been like this with but it was expected. Like I said in the beginning, I told you anything can happen and probably will. The only guy that really is having almost completely smooth sailing has been Martin van Loosener, because he had to fight for the race lead. Yes, but he got the lead over Matthias de Tige with a fantastic pass, and he has held on tightly to that lead ever since, and he's looking good. Almost 9 seconds of advantage over the second placed BMW driver for Simracersworld Pro, and 15 seconds more or less over his teammate Kevin Vanderslick in third.
Yeah, it will be his 9th win of the season. Not quite the domination that ApexRacingTV managed to achieve last season, winning 11 out of 12 races. But of course, what you got to remember is that Van Loosener lost Laguna Seca pretty much fair and square. He made a mistake in the pits under big pressure from ApexRacingTV. That was round 2, but then the other 2 rounds he had to disconnect, and the other rounds he couldn't even turn up for because he had a computer issue. So really, he's only been beaten in one of the rounds so far this season, which is quite remarkable. So yeah, Mats van Loosenor closing off this fantastic championship campaign. A rookie in this series as well, but you would not guess it. And also not particularly experienced in GT cars, but again, you would not guess it. It's been superb driving from him. Certainly a target put on his back going into next season. Dries Mujdi then. Well, Marco, he's been so close to a race win all season long. And the luck that has come his way today, undoubtedly he has had a bit of luck with the issue earlier on for the driver who was running in the lead of the bronze category. But if anyone deserves that luck, it's certainly him. And of course, we've still got 15 more minutes to go. A lot can go wrong for him. I just wonder, is it worth letting Stephen DeWolf and John Barnes go and just make absolutely sure that he finally claims a race victory this season?
Yeah, you can see that if we can switch to the class standings and see the gap between himself and Thijsberg, and that gap is 12 seconds. So I think he can afford to defend a bit more, but not much, and because you know, like we said, things can go wrong in an instant, and here we go side by side with the Wolf. So the Wolf goes by and Barnes goes by. So smart driving there from Dries Mujdi.
Listening to me, Marco, it's finally I'm being heard. But no, probably the wise thing to do there from Dries Mujdi. And he will just follow those drivers home, make sure he keeps it on the circuit. And he will take home 25 points and, more importantly, a race win. Where is he in the championship, actually, is Mujdi? I don't know if he's fighting for a position. Ben Danes, then, isn't going to score many points. In fact, he's going to score no points. So, as long as he finishes pretty much, he will finish in second place in the championship. Well, Dries Mujdi will eclipse Ben Danes. And that'll be a bit of a boost for him. However, if Thijsberg wins out there and Mujdi doesn't finish, then Berg will go from 4th to 2nd in the championship. So that's a little bit something to throw in there.
I can see from up here in Italy the smoke coming out of your ears while you are trying to do the calculations, and the problem is that the smoke is coming out of mine as well, trying to follow the calculations, because I lost you at the very beginning, but I trust you. I trust you, and you know, I'm sure everything you said is quite correct, because I don't have the skills to tell that you are wrong. So.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, if you can't prove someone wrong, they're probably right. I feel as though that's a bit of a dangerous mentality to have in life, so don't have it. But in this case, yes, Marco, you're absolutely right. Just getting your trust me with those points. John Barnes having closing in on Stephen DeWolf. DeWolf with a decent comeback actually after a first lap incident, but you got to say, BMW looking relatively handsome right now. Good livery on that BMW as well. So too on the Mercedes. And this is the battle for 14th position. They've got 12 seconds up to Stuart Musselwhite, who they probably won't catch by the end of the race, unless something happens ahead of them.
Oh!
Oh.
That was close. I wasn't expecting it. A little bit of contact. Let's see it once again, maybe from the chopper. Steve Clay.
Have
go at
Kevin Boland's off the circuit.
And many cones have been sacrificed. So let's see what happened there. Behind his teammate was Kevin. With a bit wide, spun,
Oh, that's a drift, isn't it?
Yeah,
That would be full marks on a drift game to
but
smash all those cones.
why is no one ever thinking about the poor cones? I mean,
Yeah, and you've got to put them back.
yeah, exactly. As that was Steve Clays going wide, and Ruben van Buren also had a little bit of a moment, I think, in the final corner. Oh, this all happened at the same time, by the way. And once again, it might seem easy, you know, watching it from here, but in this, I don't know what is about this track or British tracks. Oh
Oh
dear.
wait, is this live?
This is live, yes.
Oh, Nick Shermans is round, leader of the silver category. We might have another change. Steve Clays is surely going to go into the lead here. Yes, he does. Quite extraordinary, this. And Clays, who lost the lead after a collision at that very corner earlier on in this race, has retaken the lead.
Schurmans has
Nick
got
Sherman's
some
out of the
massive
race,
damage.
and that
Massive damage.
may just decide the silver championship. It looks as though it's not going to be Sim Racers World's day. Instead, it's going to be Dynamics Racing's day. It looks as though they're going to accumulate the points they need to win the championship. I hasten to be sure on that one, but I don't think Sim Racers World are going to collect the points that they need to take the championship. And what a significant change that is. And it's this corner, Marco. Everyone seems to hate it, and none more so than Nick Sherman's looking as though he's going to get his third win of the season. And well, I think it was a collision with another car, which
Yeah,
which
Jeremy Essels.
oh dear, oh he
Look at
hates
that.
that corner as well.
Okay, this will be a better camera angle. So Essels goes wide, and exactly like the crash we have seen earlier, there was an identical crash. Quite a few laps ago, I have to say, and now both Essels and wow, yeah, and Shermans are in the pits for very long repairs. So Steve Clays somehow is in the lead with less than 10 minutes to go. And once again, don't forget that car smashed hard into that same wall there a few minutes ago. All seemed lost. Let's keep an eye on the clock, because McConville is gaining around 1 second per lap on Steve Clays, and I think that McConville's car is in better shape than the Racecraft Esports Silver Audi. So we might have ourselves a fight for the win in silver coming in a few laps. There is
Well, I said
Mujdi.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say how I wanted a bit of controversy in this final race of the season, and that spin for Jeremy Hessels has probably just won Hessels' team the championship. Certainly not saying it was deliberate. If it was, then well, he deserves the championship because that was a fantastic a spin or very convincing spin. But I am 98% sure it was accidental. And Jeremy Hessels then spinning into Nick Sherman's, and that will probably give Jeremy Hessel's team, Dynamics Racing, the title. So I'll just add that one in. So we always want a close championship in Apex Racing Team, and I must say, often we kind of miss out on when it really is super close. But it's been absolutely fantastic today that it has been chopping and changing all the way through. So
Okay.
Clay's on this lap was
2/10 slower.
Yeah, 2/10 slower. So it's not enough at the moment for John McConville if McConville wants to win his first race of the season.
We have the technology and we are putting it to good use with the lap time comparison between Clays and McConville. As you can see, McConville has been gaining slowly but surely. Lap 47 of course stands out because he gained 1 second in that lap, but it has been around 2/10 of a second ever since, which you are right, Sam, it's not going to be enough. He needs you know what I mean, I don't want to jinx Steve, of course, but with the damage he has, might be, a bit. He had a very quick pit stop. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve Clays. So he might be struggling with fuel because the imbalance of the car aerodynamically, of course, will make you, burn a little bit more fuel than in the ideal conditions. So keep an eye on this fight. And 5 minutes left in the race, so McConville needs to push super hard if he wants to get the win. I think in this lap, Clays will be a bit quicker.
Consistent lap times from Steve Clays at the moment.
Yeah,
And
bad
yeah,
lap.
that last lap 8 tenths faster. Yeah, so that might just be what he needs, depending on the fuel. He might run out of fuel with a lap to go. So and we saw a lot of craziness in the bronze class last time out at Monza when one extra lap was forced. Of course, details on that race can be found on our Facebook page. Did a quick like a short minute-and-a-half video of that one, trying to sum up what happened. But it was quite an extraordinary finish. By the way, instant points things. How close people are to 25, and there are quite a few drivers relatively close. Marcel van der Linden's on 19. Ruben Van Buel's on 23. Stephen Kastrop's already been disqualified with 25. Steve Clays is on 20, silver class winner, so watch out for that one. He gets involved in a crash. John McConville is on 20. Kevin Boland's on 24. Lee Deem is on 20. William Bush is on 24. Jochen Lennartz is on 23. That could play a part in the championship. And that's about it. So keep an eye out on those drivers. And yes, we'll see if any of those drivers get disqualified. But usually, drivers are very good when it gets to this stage, not getting involved in any collisions. John Barnes seems to have been stuck behind drivers for the entire race, and one of those drivers, Stephen DeWolf, and he's still stuck behind Stephen DeWolf. This is the battle for 13th place. DeWolf, despite all of his issues early on, I think went down about half a lap, almost immediately. Well, he's only he's still in 4th place, and only about 10 seconds off the podiums, and is actually the fastest silver driver currently out on circuit. So maybe a possible race victory getting away from him today, especially considering that he started, I believe, in 2nd place out of the silver drivers. But everything's gone on in that class, and still everything could happen.
Lee Dimmer testing the track limits there, sitting in 7th in his class. As this is the closest fight on the track, but like Sam was saying, we'll have to keep an eye on the fuel consumption of these cars, and of course when the white flag drops, which is going to be at the end of this lap maybe. We shall see. Keep an eye on where Martin van Loozenhout is.
I think it'll be one more, sorry, 2 more after this one. But yeah, absolutely keep an eye out on it.
So Sam, I have to say that I love the fact that the chat has been very, very lively tonight in YouTube, and it's always nice to interact with everyone. And of course, if you have questions, ask away. Well, maybe it's a bit late with 3 minutes left in the season, but get your questions ready for season 5.
Like, we can ask drivers some questions. Any queries you have about the racing out there today? Let us know, and we'll pop them to the drivers. We usually run out of questions ourselves, at least I do. So any help with that, you're just assisting me with my job. So I'd certainly appreciate anything there.
We don't have the magical question of what about the next race, because
No, oh dear. Well, no, we've got next season.
Next season, yeah.
What about next season?
What about the summer holidays?
Yeah. What are you gonna do with maybe your trophy and stuff like that? All kinds of questions. It's questions galore. And of course, any drivers who wants an interview, I assume not quite listening right now. But even any viewers, you know, you could probably have a quick chat that tell us what you think about the series, because we've only got a couple more minutes to go. Yes, well, one more minute to go. The race leader is going to force one more lap. He's currently got 0.3 of a lap to go, and this is a very short lap at Brands Hatch. That would be a close scenario at Spa, for example. Around this place, easily going to force one more lap, and you've got to keep an eye out on Steve Clays, see if he's struggling with fuel after taking very little fuel at his pit stop. Might just be in trouble as Van Liesnold crossed his line, 20 seconds to go, and we are going to have one more lap to go, the 55th lap of this race. And Marco, just a quick word on Martin Van Liesnold. First time in this series, and we thought the domination from Ifan Ginekton was impressive last season, but Martin Van Liesnold has been absolutely clinical, and in every department, he's just blown the field away this season in qualifying, pole after pole. In the races, he just seems to have that extra bit of pace, and he just doesn't seem to make mistakes either. It's been a perfect championship put together from him.
He has been forced, of course, by happenings, at the higher levels of iRacing, to switch from his beloved open wheelers to GT cars, and some drivers cannot make the. It's not an easy thing to do, eh? It's not easy to jump and be competitive, in open wheelers and in GT cars. But he has shown that he's in, what is, I think, his very first few months as a GT driver. He has been absolutely perfect. He's about to get another race win in the final round of the season.
Yep, here comes Martin Van Liesnold to round out Season 4 of the DynamiXX Simracersworld GT Series, and he wins at Brands Hatch, his 9th win of the season, to close out what has been a superbly driven championship from start to finish. Congratulations to him. Matthias de Tige took the lead in the early stages. It's not going to be the race win, though, for him today. Steve Clays is approaching the line, by the way. Kim Van Slick rounds out the podium. Clays is going to approach the line. What an extraordinary battle we witnessed there. And Steve Clays wins in the silver category. That is a quite remarkable win from a crash. It looked like it was all over him. Looked as though he wasn't even going to score points. But yet, he has absolutely won today's race. Jeez Mujdi. Well, what can you say? He's come so close, so many times to getting a race victory, but finally, at the 12th time of asking here at Brands Hatch, he is going to take his first race win of the season. Jeez Mujdi wins in the bronze category, and boy, did he deserve that one after so many weeks of trying. Also, in the championships, we can pretty much confirm that Racecraft Esports Gold are the champions in the gold category. So congratulations to them. They beat Sim Racers World Pro 1. Ian Reitz, best finish of the season, despite an off just at the end. And he's doing some, which he fully deserves to do, by the way, because that is a fantastic result. Also in the silver category, and I say this with caution, but I believe that that Dynamics Racing are the championship winners in that category. They should have scored enough points to hold off Sim Racers World Pro Am. After that late crash for Nick Sherman's, I think pretty much decided it. In the bronze championship, looks like Dynamics Racing Am have done it. Team GB Esports, unfortunately, I don't think any of their drivers were here today. So it means that Dynamics Racing Am have clinched that championship. So, hopefully everyone kind of understands what's happened in the championship, because I'm not sure what's happening in the championship, and hopefully we'll get some clarification as well later on, so we can properly say who our champions are. But no doubt the champion in the overall and the gold standings this season has been Martin Van Liesnold, and he wins once again, 9th race win of the season for him. Matthias de Tige finished in second place, 14 seconds behind. Great performance and great second half of the season for him. Kevin van der Slik, well, what a service he has done for Racecraft Racing Esports. Came in, I think, midway through the season, and he has scored a crucial 15 points, which has clinched them the championship today. Bod Berland and Chris Moretta, valiant effort this season from Meraki Racing. They finished 4th and 5th. It wasn't enough for the championship, but they really did give it their all. Ian Roots, best result of the season. Congratulations to him and last driver on the lead lap. Gregory Ranks was in 7th place with Andrew Hopley in 8th. Ruben Van Buel, great comeback, finish in 9th. And Steve Clays, winner of the silver category, somehow in what was a chaotic race in 10th place overall. Behind that was John McConville and Stu Musselwhite. I believe that's their best results of the season, so congratulations to them. Stephen DeWolf came back from an early crash to finish in 13th. John Barnes in 14th. Joaz Mujdi finally wins a race in the bronze category, 15th place overall, and he fully deserved that one. William Bush finished in 16th with Thijs Berg in 17th. Kevin Boland finished in 18th with Lee Diemer and Jochen Lennartz rounding out the top 20. And then the retirees, and there were quite a few of them. Nick Sherman's, it looks as though he might win his team the championship. And that last race of the season, in the end, a collision that wasn't his fault, took that chance away from him. Ben Mears retired as well, along with Robbie Carnduff. Jeremy Hessels led the way early on. Ben Thanes led the bronze category as well. Stephen Castrop retired as well. So too did Lewis Ward. Ronald Moons led the silver category. And then there was Lee Woodburn, Scott Malcolm, Marcel Van der Linden, Luke Thies, Dion Phillips, Ewan Marshall, and Tom Metherell. And perhaps Metherell's crash cost Meraki Racing the championship. Not too much that he could do about it, obviously, but perhaps those few points were the difference in the end for that title. So, interviews, and we should get quite a few of them, I think, today. Everyone wants to probably have a word to round out the season. And, well, I think we're going to have a chat with Martin van Loosenhoor. And I think we'll also drag up Kevin van der Slik as well, because well done, guys. By my calculation, Racecraft Esports Gold are the team's champions. Congratulations.
All right, nice, guys. Can we get some official confirmation?
I cannot give you that, unfortunately.
All right, no problem. But thanks for info, though.
Yes, terrific race for you guys today. Martin first, not the best start for you. You lost the lead early on. How was it following Matthias? Did you just have to keep on reminding yourself to be patient, because it looked as though the move was just going to happen eventually, and you just had to wait for the opening to arrive?
Yes, I've had a few bad starts in this season, so yeah, you're starting to get used to it. But it's you just need to read how the car in front of you is acting, you know, in every corner. And the BMW was just really good on the exit, so I was focusing on, I don't know, turn 1 exit, but not on the slower corner exits, because that BMW was really quick. So I had to pick him on the braking somewhere. So yeah, and turn 1 was, it looked like he was struggling a little bit, or I had a little advantage, so I just went for it.
And in the end, this season, you've won 9 out of 12 races, and there's a bit of an asterisk put next to the drivers who won those other races, I think, because you had issues in all of those other races, apart from maybe Laguna Seca, where Ifan Ganekton won, but those other two, certainly you kind of had technical issues. Looking forward to next season, well, one, will you be back? And I guess you've got to set yourself the aim of defending your championship.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really glad with all the wins, and yeah, I had some struggles, but in the end it paid out. So yes, I will be racing next season. There will be more of our guys with our new team also, Refmatch Esports. So give them a like maybe on the Facebook. Yeah, so I will be racing, and I hope Kevin is also racing, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it work out.
Well, thank you very much, Martin. We'll quickly have a chat with Kevin as well. And Kevin, not sure how many podiums you've had so far this season, but this might be your first one, and in the end, a very competitive race. It looks very intense out there. You and Mateus in particular looked like you were kind of just hot lapping, and that gap just stayed the same for pretty much the entire race.
Yeah, this is actually my first podium. Didn't have a lot of time because I started racing half throughout the season, so luckily I got the pace really quick. Definitely looking forward to next season. I'm not sure what exact day it's gonna start, but I have to calculate my vacation in as well, so I'll probably miss a couple races. But yeah, but when Thijs, it was pretty good. Of course, the best start of my teammate, and then I actually a really good start again. Starting is one of my positive things, and unluckily because you don't want to mess up the whole race in the first lap, so I had to back down and just I was the first person on the fight from Marta and Matthijs, and at the end we discussed finishing is the most important thing for the championship. So in third place, there was no hesitation for second place or just keep the same gap and maybe hope for a mistake so I can get the second position. But Matthijs had a really good pace, and actually very happy with the first podium, the third place.
You should be very pleased with that one. We saw a lot of mistakes out there today. Drivers dipping a wheel onto the grass and spinning the car. Did you have any hairy moments out there?
I think I had one big slide in the beginning because I was pushing to Matthijs and I was actually picking up on him, and then I made a couple slides and I was like, "Ma, you know what? Maybe it's not gonna happen this time." So I little back down, just little less aggressive on the throttle. So we have a good balance in the car, and that's pretty much my race. I had a good gap behind me and a good gap in front of me, so I was just driving home alone.
Well, it's been fantastic to watch you guys out there this season. Great to talk to you as well in the commentary booth. Is there anyone you'd like to thank? We'll ask Martin first.
First of all, the guys who organized the series and everyone who was involved to organize it, and you guys, of course, for broadcasting it and making this possible, and the whole team. So and the sponsors, of course. So that's basically it for me.
And Kevin, is there anyone you'd like to add?
Yeah, the stewards, of course. Without them, there's no race possible. So definitely a big thank you to them for throughout the whole season. Definitely looking forward to next season. And of course, you guys always be here commentating our race, and hopefully we put a great season together for all the visitors and all the viewers. So definitely thank you, and we will be back with the ref match team next year.
Well, certainly thanks to you guys for putting on such a great show, and congratulations on the Drivers' Championship, Martin, and also the Teams' Championship for the pair of you.
Thank you, guys.
So that was the Racecraft Esports drivers of Martin van Loosnord and also Kevin van der Slick. And Marco, who are we going to have a chat with next?
We are going to talk with Steve Clays, and he's the winner in a very, very chaotic silver class, Steve. So certainly an interesting race from your perspective, especially in your silver class, because a lot happened.
Good evening, guys. Yeah, well, it's a win. I'll take it, but I'm not really proud of the achievement. It's a win by accident. So yeah, I'll take it anyway. But they're better races, I think.
Um, you know, how would you, sum up your season now that is over, and what are your, aims and hopes for season 5 to come?
I simply think that I have to make less mistakes. Sometimes when I push and I want too much, then I overdrive it and make small mistakes and which have big results. So if I can erase or leave behind those things, then the battle with Davy would have been tighter. I should have had some more wins. I was fast, but I make in sim racing. Luckily, in sim racing, not in real racing, I make a few mistakes which I should not do.
And concerning next season also, will you be sticking to the Audi or are you looking to maybe change car?
I have no idea. I think that's gonna be a team decision. We are, well, I'm going just to follow what the team decides, and they give me a car and I race it. I'm not like, oh no, I don't want to drive that car. You give me a car and I'll.
That is a very good attitude, Steve. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Well, at the end of the season, first of all, the team. We had a great team. We had our ups and downs, and with Martin, it was totally up. So that was a good achievement in the team championship and the general. So that's great. Especially also uh, the league itself. Ian is doing a great job, so I really love it. Uh, looking forward to coming back in the next season. I have to see with with work, social life. I think I'm gonna miss again a few races maybe due to work. And you guys, because
Thank,
the broadcast is adding something special. So that's really great. Thank you guys.
thank you very much, Steve, for the kind words. Enjoy the summer break, and we shall catch you next season then.
Okay, I'll see you then. Bye bye, guys.
And that was Steve Clace, winner in the silver class. And now, Sam, who should we get next?
Well, we'll have a chat with Scott Malcolm, who in the end got caught up in a bit of a crash today. But Scott, how did you find the racing out there, and how did you find the track as well?
I like this track. I thought I could do pretty well here. I was actually doing pretty well, but just a wee bit of coming together with I think it was Kevin. But it's just one of these things that happens. You know, nothing to, nothing to get worried about or anything like that.
Well, across the season, certainly from where we've been watching, you certainly made quite big improvements in this car. Would you agree? Do you think you've improved your pace as the championship has gone by?
Yeah, I just came in this. I've been watching this series for like the last couple of seasons, and I've been trying to get in, and I eventually got in. So I thought, right, okay, like let's just set an aim of finishing 3/4 of the races. You know, I was doing this on my own. I thought I'd check out for Team Mad, see if they want to get involved next season, and I just played along. Um, I reckon if I'd maybe tried a wee bit harder, I might have got like top three, maybe second in the bronze, but just silly wee mistakes and um, other things just uh, made it not happen.
Yeah, certainly very easy to do that. But looking forward to next season. Will you be back? And what car do you think you'll be driving next season?
I'll be back. I'll be back in the Merc. Um, I think Team Mad are putting in a team, so it might be a bit different than this season. You know, might have a like, right, come on, let's have a go at this. Let's see what we can do. Um, but yeah, we'll be back in the Merc, I think.
Awesome. It's great that you'll be back with potentially a couple of teammates. Yeah, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Nah.
No
Nah.
problem.
Obviously, you guys and the admins of the league, like Ian, for like setting this up and getting involved, and everybody else for um, putting all romantics on track. But yeah, I'll be back next year. Let's see what happens.
Awesome. See you then, and thanks for having a chat with us, Scott.
Dear brother Sam.
So I think we're going to have a final interview with Ian Roots, and Ian, well, as founder of the Ian Roots fan club and 100% of the members of myself, I was cheering for you all the way to 6th place. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah, I don't know what to say, to be honest. I really enjoyed that. For once in the season, I actually missed the madness at Paddock Hill Bend. I was in the thick of it and went straight through like a Days of Thunder moment. Found myself, yeah, I think it was in 7th or 8th, I think. And it was a case of let's preserve tyres and be consistent, which I was, and let all the chaos happen around me, which it did, in front and behind. It was just a case of staying out of trouble. I wasn't holding anybody up. I let them go because I knew I could work on tyre, kind of looking after my tyres, and it worked in the end. And I'm really, really pleased with 6th. It's a really good end to the season for me, and I scored more than 1 point in a race. I'm really pleased.
We absolutely should be, and yeah, it was a great race from you. You were you had Gregory on your tail for much of the race, and Gregory seemed to kind of catch up to you in the early stages. Was there ever the temptation maybe to have a little bit of team orders and let him go ahead, or were you always going to stay ahead?
No, I think he was quite happy to sit behind. I don't think he was going to push me or pressure me in any way. He knew at least 75% into the race the tyres would be absolutely gone on the Audi. So I think he was just being my wingman and protecting me from behind, which he did quite well. But yeah, a good result, and a good result for Sim Racers World tonight. I think Matthias finished really well. Myself, Greg. Nick was doing really well until he got taken out, and I think John and Stuart did really well as well. So yeah, we had a good evening tonight. The team did really, really well. Proud of them all.
Yes, yeah, looking like it was going to be a 1-3-4, I think, at one point. Do you have? I guess you don't, but I'll give it a go. Do you have any official word on any of the teams' championships?
I
How they are?
don't know, and you won't until probably the weekend. The reason being because I think there's a protest going in. So the team championship in gold may well already be. If Kevin and Martin finished in the top 3, I think they've sealed the gold team championship. Silver, we won't know until the protest has been sorted out. And I wasn't following bronze tonight at all. For once in my life, I was well ahead of it. So I don't know. So we're looking probably 48 hours before we get any info on the teams.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks for the information, and of course, yeah, a bit of a word on the overall championship this season. It has just carried on going, hasn't it? To have 35 cars at the last race of the season in a 12-race season, it is testament to how fantastic the league is.
Yeah, it's been a testing and a trying season. I won't lie. It's been a season of firsts, a season of tests, as you're all aware, with BOP and live stewards, and we've never done either of those before. Live stewards has been a total utter success, and I just want to thank those guys that are there week in, week out, and they've done a fantastic job. And I think you'll probably agree it's raised the driving standards incredibly. It's something that we are hoping to continue into season 5. We just need to nail down the stewards for that. The BOP caused some upset, some arguments during the early part of the season, settled down once we'd fixed it. But we are removing it. It's coming away for season 5. But it has been a fantastic season. The community continues to grow. Following continues to grow, and you guys are doing a great job for getting us, getting us out there and getting us recognised. And the GT3 League is here to stay.
And looking forward to season 5. Pretty much every season, it's been very minor changes apart from the BOP change. Are there any other changes, and is there anything kind of notable that is going to be coming for season 5, or have you got any details about the team entries, perhaps?
We've got no details as of yet. Whatever changes there will be minor. What's the old saying? Don't fix what isn't broke. It works very well. The changes will be minor. Maybe some point system changes. Maybe some removal of the BOP. Maybe some changes to the way the qualifying works. I think we're going to go back to 20 minutes. Then it's not so much of a mad rush, and then you get people where they're supposed to be on the grid, which potentially could ease the congestion in the first few corners. But nothing major. It works very well, and with your guys' support, we're hoping to push it onwards and upwards. Just continue as we are.
Absolutely, well, we'd support any of that, certainly. Ian, thank you for putting on this superb championship. And well, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, can I just do my end of season thank yous to everybody? I hope you don't mind. I know we're overrunning slightly, but I just want to say congratulations to the 3 class winners. All very well deserved this season. Again, tough competition. Martin running away with it, absolutely head and shoulders above anyone else. We're trying to look underneath every rock in Europe to find someone to challenge him for next season. So he's a well-deserved champion. Same for Davey and Dave in bronze. Very, very good, and hoping that all 3 drivers come back to season 5 and defend their championships, albeit 2 of those will be getting promotion. I've thanked the live stewards already. They do a fantastic job. It is a thankless task and the worst job in the group, but they do a brilliant job every week, and they've been outstanding, all of them. Bart, Anton, Peter, Koba, they all do a very, very good job. So just thanks to those guys for sticking with it. It's very thankless and sometimes very tough. All the rest of the admin team behind the scenes, without those guys, the group wouldn't be running as smoothly and as great as it is. So thanks to those guys. The sponsors, as always, Jochen at Dynamics, Ben at Abruzzi, and Ben at Thanesit. Those guys providing prizes for the teams and for what have you, donating money to the group so that it can run. Without those guys, it would be very difficult to have this broadcast every season. So thanks to those. All of the drivers, especially the newcomers, they've all responded well to guidance. Some of them have never been in a league before, and I think their progress during the season has been fantastic. So let's hope they all return for season 5. Finally, I just want to dedicate this season to 2 people, Ruth DeWolf and Kevin McConville. Both of those names you'll probably recognise from drivers in the group. They've both been diagnosed with cancer in this season. One of them is terminal, and it's very sad. So I just want to dedicate our support to those families, and our thoughts go out with them. And off the back of that, we are doing a 12-hour charity event in August at Zolder. It will be Porsches and MX-5s, and we're raising money for cancer research in the UK and in Belgium. And I just hope everybody comes along on the day and donates a few pounds or a few euros and support that cause, because obviously it's very sad news. And I just want to dedicate this season to those 2 people. It's a shame, but we wish them all well, and keep strong, keep fighting, and we're all thinking of you. Cheers, guys.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for those very great words, Ian, and we'll certainly echo all those thoughts as well, Apex Racing TV. Thanks, Ian, for putting on such a superb season, and we'll see you very soon, I'm sure, on Apex Racing TV.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Thanks, Marco. You 2 guys have done a fantastic job this season. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we are going to have a quick word with Davey Whitwells quickly, because he has been waiting for an interview, as has Davey. So, Davey, congratulations on the Silver Championship. I believe the last time we spoke, it wasn't confirmed, but now it 100% is now that we're at the end of the season. So well done.
Good evening, guys. Yes, thank you. I'm very pleased with that. Last time I was not sure, but yeah, you were counting correctly, so yeah. I was very pleased with it. It was a very tough season for me, and also, yeah, the car was not so good, and I worked very hard, and just too bad that I could not race direct to another silver driver. It was always with the gold drivers and mixed, uh, never a directly fight with one of the silver drivers. So that's a bit sad, but yeah, overall I'm happy with the win.
And of course, next season you'll be moving up into the gold championship. What will your aims be for that? Have you got an idea of perhaps a championship position that you'll be aiming for?
Not really. I'm not sure I will drive season 5. It's not in my power, so let us say like that. Um, but yeah, I hope I can drive, but yeah, nothing is sure at this point.
Well, I certainly hope to see you back. And just a quick word as well on the racing that we saw today. Of course, unfortunately, you weren't out there today, but it was quite a fun race, wasn't it? Especially in the silver category.
Yeah, it was very fun to watch. Very fun to watch. But as a driver, if you're in it, I don't think it's so fun. If you're involved in crashes or someone take you out, it's not that fun. But of course, for to see to watch it, yeah, it was fun and it was very surprising every time. So yeah, it was a nice race to watch.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, Davey, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, there are a few people that I want to thank, especially for you guys for the broadcast. Very good for the whole season. Also to the organization, the stewards, Ian, for the nice races, and also for Steve. He introduced me a few years ago to the Ponte Motorsport, so thank for him. And Bart Delman, also he was for 2 years, I think, my teammate at Ponte Motorsport. So I had a great time with him. And then, at last but not least, yeah, the team owner Giorgio Ponte for all the support, all this time, and not only in racing but also in private life. We are very good friends. He's Italian, I'm Belgian, but we are very, very, very good friends. So a big shout out to him. Thank you, Giorgio.
Thank you very much, Davey, and we hope to see you back on Apex Racing TV at some time.
Thank you. I hope too. Have a great time and maybe hear you next time.
Well, that was Davey Witzbowls there, and silver class winner in the championship. So congratulations to him. Marco, well, it's the end of the championship, and now this really is this really is melancholy now, because yeah, we haven't got any more of Sim Racers World for a few weeks. Next season, they will be coming back in September, and well, I'm already looking forward to it. This was a fantastic way to end the season, I think.
Fantastic race. I think already the discussions for the calendar are taking place, so things are proceeding smoothly for next season. And I agree with Ian with everything he said, especially it takes courage to make changes, but it takes even more courage, I think, to take a step back from these changes. So they tried the dynamic VOP, it wasn't what they were hoping for, and it got ditched, and I completely respect the decision. So will be interesting to see the balance of power between the various cars for next season. Of course, if you haven't had enough of me and Sam, we shall be back Saturday for Euro V8s at 16:18 GMT, and I will be back for the Sim Racers Asia. Maybe Sam will be back for Sim Racers Asia as well at 1 GMT, also on Saturday. And then back on Monday we start with the usual, programming, regularly scheduled programming, of course, with the MX5, Rikmotech at night. On Tuesday, IMSA series, the official series, Oceanic Strength of Field. And then in the evening we have VRS GT Sprint official series, BSR MX5 on the iRacing Esports Network. Wednesday, sadly, we don't have anything. And Thursday we'll be back, of course, with the BSRTC Pro Series. And Friday it is iRacing Le Mans Series time. And then back with Sim Racers Asia on Saturday. So, well, we will have. Oh, of course, World GT starting on Monday, so don't
Oh
miss
yeah,
that as
yeah.
well. That will be on the iRacing Esports Network, if I am not mistaken. But yeah, so for the next few weeks, we are going to have free Wednesday nights, but don't be sad because, yeah, in September we will be back with the championship. And Sam, honestly, I cannot wait. Let me thank everyone who watched us in this season and the series organizers, the drivers. Really, their kind words make this all of this worth it. And again, cannot wait for next season.
Yeah, I am certainly looking forward to it myself. And thanks for all the organisers putting on a fantastic season. The stewards and those who have paid for the broadcast, the sponsors, of course, Dynamics and all the team sponsors as well. And also all the drivers, especially the drivers, because that's what who we commentate on Apex Racing TV, and those are the guys who put on the terrific show. So thank you for all of you guys, and also thanks for the viewers as well, to keep this channel going. And certainly if you like this video, leave a like, and also subscribe, and also leave a like on our Facebook page as well. But for now, from me and also from Marco as well, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.